Bring Me the Horizon dropped their new album, Post-Human NeX GEn. Announced this exactly 24 hours before it came out, maybe less than that. Thursday morning they announced it, which left our friends in New Zealand and Australia no time to get ready for that. It was basically a surprise drop for them.
Yeah, which is cool as hell.
Yeah, and you know, it was surprise enough for us. We got 1 day's notice, which honestly, considering the delay and the pre-orders have been active the whole time that the album was in limbo, it makes sense to just be like, well, it's finished, so here you go.
Just drop it.
Because they've also gotten to a size where it's like in this world, like in the rock and the metal world, they can do that. There were singles, and they can just be like, well, album's here. Like,
exactly.
And people pay attention and people get excited. I didn't know how to feel going into this record, though, because the singles were up in the air. The singles have been all over the place. There are songs like Lost where it comes on Octane and I'm like, oh, because I can't skip it. When it comes on my phone, I just skip it. I like the record, though. It took a couple of spins to finally click for me, but I've been enjoying this record, and I think part of what made it hard for me to really grasp on is not the singles, because I'm going to pull out the classic line in a second here. It's the production, I think. It's so clean.
It is incredibly clean. Like, it feels like pop produced, almost like that level of crisp. Yes.
Zach Cervini is a fantastic producer. When I see that he's worked on something, I get excited because I love everything.
Nerd.
Basically everything that I listen to that he touches, I wind up enjoying. Like a Water Parks, he's been working with Water Parks forever. He did the last Limp Bizkit record, and he's mixed a bunch of my favorite records, like the most recent Motionless. So when I saw that he was working with this band, Bring Me, I was like, oh fuck, like this is gonna be sick. He's gonna be clean. Yeah, he's a fantastic producer. It is too fucking clean. It is way too fucking clean. Not that I expect grit from Bring Me the Horizon, because we are so far past that in what they do musically. Like Amo, I was just like, yeah, well, it's polished now. Like, that's fine. Like, they're just doing whatever the fuck they want to do. But I think that they walked too fine of a line on this record of overproducing it to a certain extent. It's like, it's just too clean for me. But it's a minor nitpick and more something that I was catching when I first started listening to the record, because although why are you looking at me like that?
It just clicked to me that you said it's too clean.
Yes.
What? You want grime?
Yeah, it's not that I want grime. It's just too produced. Like,
it's overproduced.
Yes, it's overproduced. I think that it just, like, it needs to exist a little bit, and not every single piece be tuned and tweaked and just
so you want some imperfection.
It's too clean of
it's not natural.
Yes. It feels unnatural in bits, and it's not that I don't want the music I listen to be produced and like out of a fucking basement. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I just feel like Zach Cervini, his stuff typically doesn't sound this clean. Is what I'm getting at. Like, I enjoy everything that he touches for a reason, and this is not the reason. The production job on this is not the reason why. But with that being said, it's a nitpick that became I'm calling it a nitpick because it's become less and less of a problem for me the more I've listened to this record. I've spent a lot of time with this record over this weekend, and those feelings faded once I realized how good the record is, and it's not so overproduced that it winds up taking away from the experience entirely. It was just like that first initial shock on the first couple of listens, because I was saying that like out the gate I wasn't super in love with the record, and that is the reason why. But the more I've listened to it, the more I've been like, no, these songs, this band is just too good for me to be like, it's a little too clean for my life. Yeah, it's too clean for me. Why does the metal band sound so clean? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you sound like a nerd. Come on. Nerd. So, with that being said, I enjoyed the record. So I think my favorite song is "A Bullet with My Name On." I've had that song stuck in my head actually since yesterday. Nice. And it's like, I expected to like the Under Oath song because I just figured it was going to be. You're a fan of Under Oath. It's a good collab. But it's probably turned out to be my favorite. Another one I really liked was Limousine. I think Utopia is cool, although a shock that the record opens like that. And I dig it. Pussy makes me feel like I'm listening to Rammstein, because they've got. You
love Rammstein.
I love Rammstein because they have a song about pussy.
They do. Oh my
god. But overall, I really enjoyed this record. A lot of bangers on here, and I'm glad I was able to overcome the initial jolt of like, whoa, buddy.
Calm down.
Yeah, too clean.
Add some personality. I can understand that. Yeah. Where it just feels like kind of everything, as you said, it's just too clean. Mm-hmm. You know, loosen a string or something. Make it sound just a little, you know, give it personality, give it funk. Mm-hmm. You know, something to kind of switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I've listened to this record 3 times. I'm on my 4th listen now because talking about it, I was like, damn, I really fucking like this record. So to give you a little glimpse of what I'm about to say, I loved this record off of first listen, which I was not expecting at all. I've never been a Bring Me the Horizon fan. I've never disliked them. Mm-hmm. I've had my nitpicks of, why does that sound like that? Or I just can't get into them. Or at one point I did think that they were overhyped because I personally couldn't get into them, and I was like, if they're so fucking good, why the hell can I not find one song that I really like? You know, except Obey. That was like my first and only Bring Me the Horizon song that I actually fucking liked. Mm-hmm. And that's Bring Me the Horizon featuring Youngblood. I was gonna be like, and it's even a fucking Youngblood song. So going into this, my expectations were incredibly low because I already didn't really have anything for them or against them. But I wasn't expecting to like it. As you said, the opening with Utopia, I think is fucking incredible. It caught my attention immediately, and that super cleanness is what actually made me really like that album more off of first listen, because it's a newer band for me, so I want to be able to hear everything and kind of just listening to it. And I was doing work. I was fucking calculating cake costs and whatever to make sure I'm not losing money. But it kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I was doing my work, and I was able to like picture the music because it was so clean. It didn't feel like an album. It felt like its own thing. Mm-hmm. It's so weird, but that's just how clean it was, because I haven't heard anything that solid and that polished in a while, because as you said, everything always has like some sort of personality, and for whatever reason I think it works so well with this type of record, where it's kind of like that more, because Ollie has been featuring more on pop songs, and he's been kind of like dipping his toe into that circle of music on just features and some songs as well that he's put on the album. So I think it makes sense that he's kind of leaning more towards that pop production, but still, you know, metalcore or whatever sound. So going in, hearing that, I got excited because I was like, oh, this shit makes it easy for me to get into. I can rock with this and then get into their grimier stuff later. I think it's fucking incredible. My favorite songs, I'm just gonna go into that. Lost, I don't know, Ost, Spiral, Ritual, Spiral, I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say. Spiritual, that one, great song. I love that one. NA is my personal favorite. I tried to give Amen another try. I don't remember if I liked it or disliked it off first listen because I believe it was a single.
Mhm.
Because I remember the cover art, so that's why I'm like, I think that was a single. Um, I don't. It's not my favorite. I do prefer um Ollie's feature on Uzi's record versus Uzi's feature on the Bring Me record. I did like Lost in the context of the record. I did like that song a lot. Again, I think just the cleanness made everything fit together. Even though there were some different genres, it got a little weird at some points. It wasn't a cohesive sound and it wasn't a cohesive, at least from first listen, like a story that they were telling or anything like that to kind of bridge it together.
Mhm.
It was the production that bridged everything together and made it a very cohesive record. That is my review. I liked it a lot. And this will be on rotation because I don't know, it really clicked with me. Like
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get because I've always liked Ollie's vocals, but it's just been a why the fuck they can't be that good because I can't fucking get into them. But now I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, guys.
Yeah,
I get it.
It clicked for me too. I've been really digging this record. Another thing I would like to mention is how seamless the transitions are on so many of these songs going into the next one, which winds up creating a very cohesive listening experience. It allows for, at least for me, the singles to have, you know, in the context of the record, for me to enjoy the singles because everything flows so well that it's like, fine, I will listen to Lost. Fine, I will listen to Strangers.
You got me here.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I guess you got me. But just overall, you know, listening to the full record, I see what they were doing with those songs, and it makes me appreciate it more than just like that being the single and like, all right, what the fuck is Bring Me the Horizon doing now? Because the last one was heavy and this one now isn't. But like that's the way this record is. But the record also allows for you to like have breathing room and it not be so like just changing. Each song is different. There's breathing room, there's interludes, and there's transitions between the songs that make it so that it's not that sudden shock that you get just listening to the songs as singles. So that's why in the context of the record I enjoy the singles, you know, the singles that I didn't like. But yeah, overall I thought this record was impressively good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Damn right. Good job, Bring Me.